This is the Bates Bobcast, our weekly podcast about the week that was in Bates athletics. My name is Aaron Morse, and this week we're looking back on what is believed to be the biggest come-from-behind win in Bates field hockey history. Plus, men's soccer stunned defending NCAA champion Amherst on Saturday, and a sophomore men's golfer had his best round to date at Bates. All that and more coming up on the Bates Bobcast. The football team hung with defending NESCAC champion Wesleyan for 3 quarters before the Cardinals pulled away to win 23-7 Saturday at Garcelon Field. Head coach Matt Coyne recaps the game and looks forward to a CBB battle under the lights this Saturday against Colby. All right, Coach, obviously a tough game on different fronts for the Bobcats. Losing Sergio to the injury. I mean, what do you tell your team at that point, kind of, with their senior leader kind of going out right there?
Yeah, I think it's just, next man up. We obviously have had JP come in the game before. So stylistically, nothing really changed in our offense. I think the, efficiencies in different areas of the offense go up and down depending on, what we're deciding to do. So, but we're confident in our guys, to step up, and, we just didn't make enough plays.
Matty Holmes had a nice game, had some big catches. What were you seeing from him? Because he was able to get open for quite a few balls there.
Yeah, I think, Matty Holmes is a tough football player. He's a very smart football player. Those were contested catches against a really good defense. So, really good to see him be able to convert some of those third downs, find space in the defense. I thought, we had opportunities when you watch it in the past game. We just didn't capitalize on them. A few mishaps here and there with either a bad snap or, a protection breakdown or the quarterback not seeing it. So it's just we were one off on a lot of those throughout the game.
And even without Sergio, you guys were in it for quite some time. Wesleyan pulled away in the fourth quarter. What allowed you to stay in the game?
Yeah, I think it was just we sustained drives. That was the thing.
Right.
We just didn't finish them. So I think the first drive, we stall out on the fourth down on about the 22. And then, there was a lot of long drives from both teams. I think it was, we went on 8 and 12. I think Wesleyan went on 13 and 18. There was only 1 3 and out on both sides of the ball the whole day. It's just we didn't finish those drives. And against, teams that are championship caliber, you have to do that, or else, you're going to be in a dogfight, and it's tough to win those games.
Obviously, Jack Perry, what's the next step for him? Because he's going to be playing a lot here with Sergio out. What do you want to see from him against Colby?
Just operate the offense. I mean, I still think we're going to run our offense. It's what we do. We've got to establish up front. We didn't play too well up front, in that game. And obviously Wesleyan has a really good defensive front, but still it just wasn't our style. So we got to get back to the roots of what we do offensively and, just do your 111th. I think that's the message to everybody. When we execute, we win games. When, and what's happening now is even without execution, we're in 1-score games with really good teams, so you're sitting there and it's like, guys, if we just, hit on a couple of those 50-50 balls or find 1 or 2 of those shot plays, earlier in the game that we designed, you then put game pressure on the other team and, lets us get a lead, lets us build momentum. So we just talked about that as a whole group on Sunday. Like, guys, it's almost a butterfly effect in a football game. Like how when you miss a play, you just don't know what kind of momentum that could change positively for you offensively, defensively, special teams-wise. And against the top teams, they're few and far away, so you got to capitalize on it.
One guy on Wesleyan, Newcomb, took over for that one drive late in the second quarter. But then after that, you were able to kind of more neutralize him. What kind of changed there?
Yeah, I think we just tightened up in coverage. I think a lot of the stuff he was getting early on was, access balls that normally we tackle for 4 or 5 yards that were going for 9 or 10. And those are just, that's hidden yardage in a football game. You don't want that, going for 10 yards a pop, So I think Marquez really stepped up in the second half there and trusted his abilities. We have very talented players. They just got to trust the scheme, do their 111th, and, execute. But they have good players, and so do we, and it's just you can't give them those hidden yardages throughout the game.
So we got Colby this weekend, night game, under the lights at Garcelon Field. I mean, you're sitting at 1-2, but I'm looking at the NESCAC standings. No one is undefeated through 3 games. Wild, isn't it?
Unbelievable. I mean, it's a really tough conference, week in and week out. I think, it's the first time, in my time in this conference where there hasn't been an undefeated team after week 3, I think, very long time. I think, we're both sitting at 1-2 right now, and, we've played a really, challenging schedule, which is, expected week in and week out in this league. But it's a rivalry game, so throw that all out the window. I mean, it comes down to, execution, embracing the environment, establishing our brand of football and competing to the highest level because we know it's going to be a dogfight.
I saw Michael Spencer obviously had his first career interception, which was good to see. How would you evaluate the play of the defense overall? Because I felt like besides that one quick drive to end the second quarter, they were pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was we just didn't get off the field, and I think a lot of it is, in the beginning when you're giving up those hitches for 7-8 yards, now you're into second and short, it's really tough to force a third and long. And then the few opportunities we did get on third and long, they made plays and we didn't, and I think, they have a good quarterback back there. And, we just weren't able to get off the field on a few of those third and longs, and you got to, so I think obviously the drive before half is, frustrating, just because we tie it up and now, you have momentum and you just need to get a stop. But then I thought, for the whole third quarter, I mean, the third quarter was 2 drives. It was our drive and their drive, and it was done. And it was still 13-7, so the third quarter went by pretty quick. I thought they played well. I just think it's just in those moments there's, throughout a game, there's 4 or 5 critical plays, and you have to either win them or you don't, and it puts you in a tough position to succeed if you don't.
Ryan Linsky, I mean, there hasn't been much room to run up the middle, but I was impressed he was able to get that long reception because I remember his first year here, he had a couple of long catches. Didn't really catch the ball much last year, and planning maybe working him back in the passing game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just trying to find ways to get him the ball. Obviously, teams are targeted on him as they should be, so it's really challenging. If they're going to put 9 in the box, and that's what it is, then you've got to be able to win those matchups on the outside. So it's a very simple game. As I say all the time, like football is a simple game complicated by coaches. If they're going to put 9 guys in the box and they're going to play press man on the outside, then guess what? You've got to win those matchups so that you can get them out of that coverage and now make them allocate more resources to that, and then it opens up the internal run game. So I think it's a very simple concept, but obviously everybody's trying to stop 4 back there, and we still got to be able to block the fronts and get our 3 to 4 yards though, because it's still manageable. So we just got to get back to our identity.
Anything else you wanted to mention about the game we haven't going to talk about yet?
No, just super excited. Obviously, first stage of the CBB, our guys are going to prepare really hard. I know their guys are too, and it's going to be a fun atmosphere. Saturday night at Garce.
Sounds good, Matt Coyne. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
The Bates field hockey team fell behind 3-0 last Tuesday at nationally ranked Bowdoin and still trailed 3-1 with less than 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Then the Bobcats came storming back, tying the game at 3 in the 60th minute on a goal from senior captain Brooke Moloney-Kolenberg off a penalty corner. In overtime, Moloney-Kolenberg scored the game winner for a stunning 4-3 victory over the Polar Bears in what was believed to be the largest come-from-behind win in program history. The Bobcats weren't done, though, as they rallied to win 2-1 Saturday at nationally ranked Amherst, improving to 8-0 and 4-0 in NESCAC play. On Monday, Moloney-Kolenberg, who dished out an assist at Amherst to go along with her 2 goals at Bowdoin, was named the NESCAC Field Hockey Player of the Week. And on Tuesday, the Bobcats moved up to number 5 in the NFHCA Top 25 rankings, the highest ranking in program history. And Brooke Moloney-Kolenberg is our female Bobcat of the Week. Well, Brooke, a week ago, that Bowdoin game, I mean, unbelievable. Like 3-0 is no joke in terms of a deficit. 3-1 is no joke, especially when there's only like 3.5 minutes left. How did the Bobcats pull this off?
Oh my gosh, such a loaded question. I think the first half definitely we weren't really playing our style, and we knew we could do better. At halftime, Coach told us like it's up to us if we want to change the outcome of the scoreboard. And credits to our goalie, Ava Donahue. We were in our huddle right before we went out on the field, and she was like, guys, why do we play this sport? We're here to have fun. Let's have fun the second half and make sure just if you have the ball to pass to a teammate before you release. And those 2 things really turned it around for us. And I don't think for 1 minute that any of us didn't believe that we couldn't win, which was huge because obviously with down 3-0, there's some thoughts of, the game's over. Bowdoin's definitely got it. But we didn't really look at the clock that often. We just put our heads down, got to work, and luckily we got those goals that landed, which was really exciting.
Take us through the penalty corner where you scored the equalizer.
Oh, gosh. I didn't even realize there was a minute left until after we scored, and I was like, oh, my gosh, we have to really defend our goal now. Like, let's go to overtime because obviously there's a minute left. That's what it was looking like, but I remember I was just like, just hopefully you receive the ball clean and just put it away. Like, hit it as hard as you can. And Kelly and I had been working on that shot earlier in the week, which was exciting to see that hard work pay off later.
So you didn't realize at the time you were in the 60th minute at that point?
Yeah, I had no idea until I turned around, which honestly was probably good because I think maybe that would have added a little bit of pressure of like, oh, there's only one more minute, so our chances are definitely getting lower to tie it up.
The game winner in overtime, what you did there to shoot the ball, that's normally like what you do to like stop a ball, but you shot it. How does that work?
Kind of, yeah. So for those who
So
don't
it looked
know,
like it, yeah.
Yes, for those who don't know, field hockey you can only play with one side of your stick, and so it's like a one-time shot, I guess, that I've been working on ever since high school. But you don't often use it. Just being on that side of the field, like it really has to be a flat, fast ball, because you're kind of just redirecting it into the goal. And luckily, Elsa was able to get off a really, really great flat pass that I kind of just bumped it in.
And you made it look easy, but you've been working on that a lot, huh?
Yeah, just in club and high school, and then any chance I can to do one-touch passes in practice as well, like something our team really focuses on because you can really get the defense off guard that way.
What was the celebration like after that went in?
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. I had hugged Elsa, and then the next day I knew the team was just right there, and everyone was just laughing and having fun.
And to have so many Bates fans at the game must have been awesome because you're in Brunswick, but on the web feed, all you can hear is Bates fans cheering.
Yeah, definitely. Our parents are like so into the sport. They're sending us all of like the rankings and then this game result and all that. So we had a really big showing there. So I'm pretty sure some of the men's lacrosse team came, and the women's basketball ended up getting dinner close by and came over to watch, which was exciting. So it was really, really great that we were able to be so close that they could come because that definitely helped the energy in the second half.
And then, yeah, I mean, Bowdoin, a team that up until a few years ago, Bates had not beaten in a long, long time, and now Bates has a winning streak going. What's that like to have that winning streak?
It's crazy. Every time I think about it, back to that first time, it was my freshman year, so in that 4 years, it's cool to see that every regular season game of my 4 years, we've been able to rise up and continue the streak means a lot. Obviously, there's some pressure with that, but that pressure is a privilege, and so able to keep that going is really exciting.
And you had a memorable postseason win over them also.
Yes, and overtime as well. I love overtime.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, the 7-on-7, what is that like for a player to, have fewer people on the field?
Yeah, it definitely is like possession is the name of the game for that because you have so much space on the field. But it's really also a test of your fitness as a team and the depth of your bench because you're able to get so many fresh legs on. As well, but definitely just find a perfect, like a 100% pass and work the ball around. I think most often in overtime, goals are just like little tap-ins or passes into the corner. It's not these crazy big shots because you do have so much space. So it's definitely a different game, but it's one that's really fun to play.
And then after the thrilling win over Bowdoin, you had to refocus and go to a very tough place to play, right? Amherst. That's a place Bates had not won at in quite some time and fell behind 1-0, but didn't seem to worry you. Take us through that game.
Yeah, we got scored on, I'm pretty sure it's 3 or 4 minutes in, which I think in the past normally rattles us into a different mindset of like, okay, we're playing down, we kind of have to be scrappier or hit bigger balls or stuff like that to get the goal in. But something that we were able to shift this year was to still be able to play our style of hockey, which is a lot of like ins and outs and connecting with teammates that makes us so successful. And so even though we got scored on, we still maintained that composure of just playing our game one step at a time, and we were able to capitalize off of 2 corners, which was awesome. And that's something we've also been working on in practice, so to see those come to fruition was awesome.
Yeah, it seems like the corners, you're always tweaking something with that, right? What's that like to kind of change the strategy each week almost?
Yes, well, everybody has access to like every other team's videos, so you're able to kind of scout them. So even just like little body fakes or slight couple yard movements, switch ups are definitely helpful because it keeps the defense on their toes when we're in such a numbers advantage 8v4.
What's it like being a senior captain?
It's definitely interesting. I think going into the season, obviously there was a little bit of nerves now that you're kind of the biggest role model on the team in terms of all aspects of life, academics, field hockey, volunteering, all that good stuff. But it's been really fun, and it's so cool to see reflect back on past seniors in this role and seniors as a whole and see what they did. And now I kind of understand why maybe they did this or that and able to replicate that or tweak it to change it my own as well.
Before the season, I know obviously the question was who's going to score goals because Anna Cody scored like a lot, right, last year on her way to being a first-team All-American. We knew the defense had a lot of returners. We knew obviously you could score and a few other people also. But what's it like to have this team have basically like it seems like you're still scoring a lot of goals, so anyone can do it, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it just speaks to our depth as a program. We really invest in all 24 of us, every practice, every game, and we all know it takes 24 to win. And I think Anna Cody is an incredible player, but we were also playing defense against her last year in practice and stuff like that. And so it's awesome in a way of like the best is kind of training the best because you have to be playing against that such high level. And I think the seniors last year set a really great precedent of hard work. And in the off season, the girls were grinding so much. And I think it just attributes to our depth across our bench, which is awesome.
Just came out today. We're talking on Tuesday. The Bobcats are now number 5 in the coaches poll, which is the highest ranking ever. What does that mean to you to be part of this team that's had the risen to unprecedented heights, if you will, right?
Yeah, I'm really just so proud of them and what we've been able to accomplish. Obviously, it's just a number. We're going to keep grinding, but it's nice to see that all the hard work has paid off in some sort of small respect with the national coaches poll because it's all of the coaches across the country kind of putting in their sense. So it's cool to see that the leaders of our game are recognizing the hard work we've been putting in.
So a couple big home games this weekend. Very exciting back to Bates weekend, hosting Williams in a top 10 matchup, and Hamilton as well Saturday and then Sunday. Take us through what your thoughts are, on this double. It's a doubleheader in terms of like back-to-back home games, right?
Mm-hmm. Really exciting. We really love playing at home, so we're glad to be back there, as well as our bigger family base because it is back to Bates and family weekend and all that. We have Anna Cody's going to be coming back as well to watch, which will be exciting. And I think we're just ready to keep grinding, keep putting on our show and play our style and see what happens. Williams, we beat for the first time in many years my freshman year and at Williams, and we've had a couple back and forth since then, so it's going to be an interesting battle that we're excited to play. And same with Hamilton. Hamilton is really putting on a good show this year. They've been working really hard, and they've been also climbing in the rankings as well, so we know there's no easy games, especially in the NESCAC, but we're really excited to be able to play in front of all of our families and returning alumni this weekend.
Great. Well, any other thoughts you wanted to share on this big week? Just coming off with these wins over Bowdoin and Amherst we haven't got to talk about yet?
No, I think we covered most of it, but just reiterating that I'm just really proud of this team, and it does take all 24 of us to gain these results that you're seeing, and we have a really good team culture going. Our coaches are amazing, and I just can't praise them enough.
Outstanding. She is the NESCAC Field Hockey Player of the Week and our Female Bobcat of the Week, equally prestigious awards. 8-0, the Bobcats, 4-0 in NESCAC play. Brooke Moloney-Kolenberg, thanks so much.
Thank you.
The Bates men's soccer team surged into the United Soccer Coaches National Top 25 rankings at number 13 after a 3-0 win at defending NCAA champion Amherst on Saturday. With the Bobcats up 1-0, sophomore goalkeeper George Nassar made a huge save in the 50th minute to preserve the lead. He finished the afternoon with 4 saves, giving him 21 on the season and a save percentage of .913. His save percentage ranked second in the NESCAC and is one of the top 15 save percentages in all of NCAA Division III this season. And George Nassar is our male Bobcat of the Week. Well, George, what a win at Amherst. 3-0 over the Mammoths, and that's a blowout in soccer. I mean, take us through that match from your perspective in goal, what you saw from your teammates out there, and how were you guys able to get that big win?
Going into the game, we knew it was going to be a very hard game, especially going against Amherst. We haven't won since 2004, I think. And our coach, Ben, told us that it's going to be a really rough game. It's going to be a kicking game. Like, these guys are just going to, come at you straight from the get-go, so we need to be ready for it. And being in that hotel, everybody is just, so focused on that this match is going to be a really, really hard match. So going into the game, we just had this mindset that we just had to outcompete them. And from the start of the game, everyone was just so excited to play. And that was, I think the main difference from last year is that we were just happy to be there and happy to compete rather than, we have to face Amherst again. So, yeah, going into the game, they didn't get many chances from the start of the game except 1 or 2, and then we started, Chris Bianco started getting more chances, and then we were like, oh, like we could just smash these boys from the get-go. And we just kept pressuring them, kept putting balls behind them, and then we just went after them. And then after the first goal Lane scored, we were like, yeah, we're gonna smash these boys today. So after halftime, we had talk like we want more, we want more than one, more than two. So getting back into the field, me and my defense focus on not conceding, because we knew all those guys do is just very physical, put balls behind you. So we just had to be ready for that. And then I just did the saves I had to do. My defense helped me a lot, and then thanks to the team up top, they scored 2 other goals, which just sealed the deal there.
Yeah, I was going to ask about one of your saves. You were up 1-0 early in the second half. The guy kind of got past the defense, was almost one-on-one. You made a diving save on his shot attempt that looked like he was trying to go low to the right. What did you see on that play? How did you make that save?
Especially against, I think his name was Mo. He's very low to the ground and very quick. And I saw that Hewitt was still close to him, so I didn't want to come close and do a 50-50 and just try to react to it. Instead, I just let him stay set and let him shoot, because I was like, you can't beat me from there. So I just set, and then I just made the save there.
Yeah, as a goalie, I mean, you must be doing a lot of film study to see what kind of shots these guys like to do. Break that down for me. How do you prepare for a match?
I mean, yeah, looking into the games, I just try to see each player's play style, because each player likes to do, they have habits, patterns that they like to follow. I just try to look into that mostly, and especially in the 1v1s, because they always lean into that intuition they have. So unconsciously they always do something that they've already done. So I try to mimic what they did and just try to just save the ball too.
Yeah. Well, what does it say about this team? Because you guys had that heartbreaking loss to Wesleyan. You had to come back a week later to play Amherst. What was the mentality like throughout that week of practice? That type of loss can go one or two ways, right? It can inspire a team to, redouble down focus, or it can really, knock a team off their momentum. How were you guys able to bounce back from that?
Yeah, I mean, after the game, I think personally I was very furious on how we lost, and the team was very sad that we had to go out in that way, and especially Wesleyan's also doing good, and we thought we competed very well against them. Coach Ben really helped us in telling us that there's always going to be setbacks, the trend's not always linear. So he put us in the right mentality to just get better at practice, focus on the next game. That was Amherst, and that game really fueled us to just go and smash Amherst the next week.
Yeah. What does it say about the team you can beat the defending NCAA champion 3-0? I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It really does. But that's also in the past now, especially Amherst is not what they used to be last year, which they're still a very, very good team. But we need to focus on just us and getting better as a team, and not focusing on other teams and what they're doing.
Back to Bates weekend, you got double header, right? I mean, for lack of a better word, you got home game Saturday, home game Sunday. What are your thoughts on this big weekend coming up? I know Williams is highly ranked, but you've shown you can beat anybody.
Yeah, I mean, Williams has shown to be a very good team this year. I think that's going to be a very hard game that we need to approach with the same mindset as the Amherst game, and even maybe more competitiveness. And yeah, it's just compete Saturday, compete Sunday, worry about Williams first, then worry about Hamilton, and just get those 6 points and just move on.
So you're a sophomore now. Obviously, you played a lot as a first year. What did you learn from your first year of collegiate soccer you've applied to this season, you think?
That the game is very physical, especially in the NESCAC. People beat you up, kick you, and the ref might not call it. So it's a double-edged sword. You just have to use it to your advantage and just compete the whole time.
Well, as a goalie, how does that play into your physicality? I mean, because you sometimes will have to approach a guy and try to basically not slide tackle him, but try to get the ball while avoiding getting hurt, right? Yeah. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, I just realized how faster it is, how things move with a faster pace in the NESCAC, is just try to keep up with everything. Especially with the type of balls you would see, because in the league we play in, the balls are usually more of the 1v1s, drop down, sort of hectic balls. And in some other leagues, it could be just shots, passes from outside the box. So it really depends on the play style of like the teams you face.
This has also Ben Brewster's second year at Bates as our head coach. What have you learned from him? And also, we have a goalkeepers coach, right? Jonah?
Yeah,
tell me about working with him also.
Yeah, Coach Jonah, I like him a lot, especially because he's very young, so he just came out of playing college soccer, so he understands what it's like to be in my shoes, and it helps a lot knowing someone knows what I could work on or what I would need, and just have that hands-on experience. And then Coach Ben has been just great, especially with the recruits on who he's gotten in and how has he improved our attacks. Because I think last year we were maybe lacking some like scoring goals, especially also conceding goals. We could have saved a lot of the goals we conceded, but he just like shifted the team into such like a dangerous attacking team that personally I don't want to face a team like Bates. So yeah, I'm really, really glad he's in the program with us.
Yeah, I feel like moving Lane to more of the offensive side has been a big impact, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been, especially with Lane up top, and then we leave 3 up top now again. It's just leaving so many attacking opportunities that are dangerous for other teams.
Great. Well, any other thoughts on the season so far and the great start the team's had you wanted to share we haven't got to talk about?
I think the team's mentality has been awesome this year. I think we have something very serious going on. What we have is what we want to focus on is just getting better just every day and not focusing on the NESCAC playoffs. Of course, we want to go through that, but it's just getting better as a team now and see where that takes us. And the team has been working very, very hard off and on the field for getting better, which is good.
Excellent. Well, folks, you're listening on a Tuesday. The podcast will be out here, and probably you'll be listening right in the middle of the men's soccer match. They're at Husson tonight here on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and then back home, Williams at 2 p.m. on Saturday, part of Back to Bates weekend, and then hosting Hamilton at 3 o'clock on Sunday. The Bobcats are 5-1-1, 2-1-1 in NESCAC, coming off a 3-0 win over defending NCAA champion Amherst. George Nassar, thanks so much.
Yep, thank you.
The Bates men's golf team head to Brunswick on Saturday and competed in the Bowdoin Invitational. Sophomore Sean Resnick was the star of the weekend, shooting even par over the course of 2 rounds to tie for 4th place at the tournament. On Sunday, he shot 2 under par, a particularly impressive performance. Well, Sean, Bowdoin Invitational, you had a pretty good day one, and then you were 2 under par on Sunday. So take us through that round in particular, because I feel like that's one of the lower rounds you've shot here at Bates.
Yeah. So first off, thanks for having me on. But yeah, the first day it was all right. I mean, I played okay. I had a couple bogeys down the end. The last 4 holes I played 2 over to shoot 2 over. So it was all right. I was kind of just getting my foot back on track. Last week was a little bit rough. So really happy with how I played this week. And then Sunday, I was just dialed like all day. Honestly, I didn't really flinch much. It was just like was focused the whole time, and I got the putter going early, and I kept the momentum going.
Do you prefer second rounds because you've already played the course once, or how does that kind of go for you?
Yeah, usually. I love Brunswick, the course that we played the Bowdoin Invitational at. I played well last year, and so I just knew going in I had a lot of confidence. So I'd say Sunday is usually the better day, or it should be. But yeah, the weekend was definitely pretty good.
Well, I had Henry on last week, and he was talking about how, like, the Williams tournament, you had a day where you had to play 36 holes.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, so that's new this year.
Yeah.
So some of the tournaments that we're playing will be 36 and then 18 the second day. And it was tough, but it honestly is just like a longer round. It just feels like a little bit of a longer round because you just go straight through. There's no lunch. So we played, so it was a shotgun start, but we just played the first 18, and then we just started the second round right away. As long as you keep focus for that little break in between, maybe like 10 minutes as a wait, then it's just right back on track.
From Sunday this weekend, any particular memorable holes for you?
Ooh, honestly, I didn't have any crazy holes. It was pretty much just steady the whole round. But I definitely had a couple good putts, especially the first day I started on the second hole, and so I had back-to-back par 5s to start. So I got off a good start, birdieing the first 2. And then I was bogey 3 through like 12 or 13 holes, and I ended up making a bogey. But it was off to a good start, and then I just kept going.
You're a sophomore now. Last year, first year collegiate golf. What did you learn from that experience you're kind of applying to this year?
Yeah, I learned a lot. Honestly, the biggest learning curve was probably in the NESCAC championship because I was playing well, and then towards the end I fell apart a little bit. So just staying focused for the whole round has been super important. And this weekend on Sunday, I I was in contention. I was 2 strokes back with like 4 to play. And so I gave myself a couple looks. I gave myself 3 out of 4 pretty good looks, and they didn't drop. But just staying focused through the last 4 or 5 holes has been a big difference changer.
Yeah, what's the process of monitoring where you are in the tournament?
Yeah, so a lot of the guys don't look at the leaderboard, but I usually do, and I always kind of have, especially last year, just to see how my teammates are doing.
Yeah.
But I definitely was looking at it a little bit. I tried not to look at it too much because I knew I was kind of right there, but towards the end, just to see where I'm at, to see if I needed to do anything.
What's this group like this year, this team?
Yeah, it's awesome. So we're led by Henry, as you mentioned you had on, and he's honestly the best captain we could have had this year. And being the only senior, it's a lot to handle, but he's doing a great job with it. And then we got a couple freshmen coming in that are starting to get their feet set in college golf. And then obviously we have a big sophomore class as well who started to step up. Been a really good group so far.
I was going to say, Henry was telling me how, after your last round at Williams, the talk in the van was all about the first year Malin Adams.
Yeah.
He went under par, right?
Yeah, he shot 70. I believe 70 the second day, which was great to see because that course is really hard. And it was not playing super easy. So to see him come out and shoot 1 under in the last day was super impressive.
So the Brunswick Golf Club sounds like a little bit easier course necessarily than Taconic. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a little bit easier than Taconic, a little bit shorter, and there's just not as much to deal with. Like Taconic has so many interesting holes, and the layout is really unique that if you're long of the pin on pretty much any hole, it's going to be really hard up and down. Where Bowdoin, honestly, you're missing long some of the holes. If on the par 5s, that could be a miss just because there's so much more green to work with long than there is short. So it's definitely 2 completely different courses.
Now, no tournament this weekend, but you do have the Skidmore Invitational coming up Saturday, Sunday in October, 11th and 12th. Last few years, that's really been impacted by weather, I think.
Yeah, and this year it's supposed to be 36 on Saturday like the Williams and then 18 on Sunday, but hoping for the best this year that we can get all 54 in.
So for these 36-hole rounds, or 2 rounds, I guess, are you doing that at Martindale during practice, playing 36 holes, or not enough time for that?
No,
maybe?
not
not
really.
enough time.
Especially with how dark it gets.
True.
We definitely don't have time with class and stuff like that, but it's more just eating. You have to eat throughout the day and make sure you have a big breakfast and then just staying hydrated. It definitely is a little bit different than the 18 holes, but as long as you're just staying hydrated and eating food, it's not that much different.
Great, and then so only really 2 more tournaments in the fall. Always a short fall schedule. What are your thoughts on, what you're looking to do these next few tournaments to prepare yourself for, really the NESCAC Championship comes up in the spring, but how do you want to finish the fall kind of on a high note?
Yeah, this is all just preparation for the conference tournament and just getting as much experience as we can under our belt. Because the moments that we live for are the conference tournament to try to make it to the NCAAs, and so just trying to, obviously we want to win and we want to place well, but honestly just learning from each tournament and improving is the biggest thing.
You were part of the Golf Digest video, right? Or were you not?
A little bit, yeah.
A little
bit. The first part.
You were in the
I
first
had class
part
for the second part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was it like the first part participating in that?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'd never been a part of anything like that before, and to have all the film crew there and they're super professional, it was really, really cool.
Did it change how you think about your home course at all, or?
Definitely Martindale, yeah. Maybe not back at home, but Martindale, absolutely. Because we went over the the layouts and stuff like that, and the different just honestly everything that you have to think about when creating a golf course, which I don't ever think about on the golf course, but it was super interesting to look at it from that perspective.
Great. Well, any other thoughts you wanted to share on the Bowdoin Invitational? How you played, how the team played? You wanted to mention we haven't got to talk about yet?
I don't believe so. Just looking forward to finishing out the year strong and hopefully maybe a win or 2.
And 2 under, is that your low round as a Bobcat?
It is, yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
okay.
2 under is the low as a Bobcat, yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, Sean, thank you so much for joining us on the Bobcast. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
It's the biggest weekend of the fall for Bates Athletics. Back to Bates this year features the induction ceremony for the first members of the Bates Athletics Hall of Fame, happening Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. Plus, we've got soccer, field hockey, volleyball, and football all at home, with Bates Athletics events scheduled for both Saturday and Sunday. Find the complete schedule at gobatesbobcats.com, and we'll recap it all next time on the Bates Bobcast.
Bye.